Good morning, friends. I'm Nicole, and I'm here to talk to you today about job search strategies. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you. So job search strategies. Okay, so it is very important that when you finish something big in your life, you just graduated, you just finished a major boot camp, that you have a plan in place so that you can find your next opportunity. So again, I'm Nicole, and our goals for today, we're going to talk about organization, talk about LinkedIn, exposure, follow-up, study habits, and some standard templates you should have on hand while you're doing the job search. So when I say organize, I'm talking about tracking your progress along the way. I personally have an Excel sheet that I use, and I keep track of all the companies I've connected with, what type of titles they have, and different things that are important about that organization. So you want to document the name of the company, and if you have a personal contact at that company, rather that be a recruiter or someone that you know or a reference for that location, then you want to go ahead and document what skills are required for them so that you can speak directly to those skills if you get a one-on-one or an interview with that company. And if you ever come down to where you have more than one offer, you can compare which skills and which benefits each company offers. You also want to date when you want to document the date that you contacted them, and if any follow-ups happen after that, you know exactly which day to look for. They can look for whatever email date that you sent them an email. Things like that are really important. I personally use a color system. So on this Excel sheet, you see that eHire is in orange or yellow type of color, and that means I got an interview with them, and I'm still in the process of considering that company. The red for Blue Orange Digital means that I did not get that position. Now that means that I could have interviewed out of that position. Maybe I took the assessment and I filled out, or maybe I'm just not considering that position anymore. Or I got an email from a recruiter telling me that the position is no longer available. LinkedIn is going to be a really powerful source for you while you're looking for a job. So you want to update your profile. Go ahead and update your LinkedIn profile so it really reflects what you're looking for, what your goals are. I personally joined LinkedIn Premium as soon as I finished my coding bootcamp. It's free for the first month, and I got a chance to go to a tutorial and tell me how I can really use those benefits of LinkedIn. And I would highly recommend, even if you do it for the first month and cancel, there's some really great perks to being a part of the premium style. I constantly share my LinkedIn. That QR code on your screen is a real life QR code that connects directly to me. Whenever I'm networking with people, I'm sharing my LinkedIn so they can connect with me and I can connect with them. You want to build your connections, okay? So I personally, not even 6 months ago, I had 74 connections. Now I'm almost to 400. So I set my goals of trying to get to 200, trying to get to 250, 300, and now my goal is trying to reach 500, okay? Whenever I try to send, whenever I do a new connection, I send a personalized message to that person. That's on two fronts. One, I'm showing them that I'm dedicated to knowing who they are as an individual and that I appreciate this professional connection. And two, it's a mental note to myself to know exactly how I met this person and how I came across them. So whenever you're looking for connections, don't just click on a bunch of random people without giving them some interest into you. One, they might not see it if they have a bunch of approval requests. And two, when you have that message, they know that you put time and you intentionally try to build that connection with them. So I always send personal notifications whenever I'm trying to get a new connection. Last but not least, you want to go ahead and use LinkedIn to its benefits. So I set a goal to comment or share or update weekly. But when I first started, I would go on there weekly and make sure that I'm looking at the news feed and seeing what's going on. Whenever I share another post, I make a comment. I say, oh man, that's amazing, or this is great. If you just like something or you just share something without a comment, there's no connection to why that post is relevant to you. So make sure that you're building your presence and your brand when you use LinkedIn. Now, I check LinkedIn every day, a couple times a day. When I wake up in the morning, whenever I check my emails, I go ahead and check my LinkedIn as well because I'm actively looking and I want my presence to be known on the LinkedIn network base. Exposure. Exposure is so important. When you start looking for a job, looking for different ways that you can network and that you can get your name out there. Okay. I would recommend attending career fairs, conferences, and joining professional groups, maybe your alumni association, and any personal connections that you have. When you're talking to people, when you are interacting with people, they know that you're out there and you're relevant, and they'll think of you when when an opportunity comes up that might fit you. Okay. So when you go in those spaces, don't just join and be a silent person. You want to speak up. You want your presence to be known. So when I go to a conference, I try to thank whoever is presenting, thank who's ever in the room, and I introduce myself. Those are places where I might drop my LinkedIn. I might drop my personal website. I'll tell them whatever my background is. I don't go in hard. I say, hey, I'm Nicole Ross. Thank you for being here. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm excited. That's it. End it. And then I'll come back. Maybe someone responds and maybe someone didn't. If they didn't respond, I'll say, well, I really appreciate this opportunity. If you want to connect with me, here's my LinkedIn. I have a bachelor's in mathematics. I'm excited about big data. Something like that. Just something that leaves them a little, just one or two details about myself that leaves a mark with the room. And I've been complimented on that when I've gone to conferences and internships. I'll introduce myself very professional. I'm excited about being there. And I just build a couple connections here and there. It can go a long way. Follow up. Follow up. You're not the only person looking for a job, okay? So you want to make sure that people don't forget how great you are when you're on this job hunt. I use LinkedIn constantly. Those conferences I just mentioned, if I see a big name in the room or even a small name, if I see someone that's just a casual person just like me, I follow up with them. I Google them on LinkedIn. I see if they're on Twitter. If I'm going to be big on Twitter like that, I thank them for their time. Follow up is important, okay? And not just once. If it's something that you really want, like I really want to be at Google, I really want to be at State Farm, I'm constantly following up with my connections there because I don't want to be forgotten. When something comes up, I want them to know that I am ready. Okay. I share my resume on LinkedIn with all the recruiters that I come across because you never know when they have an opportunity. Make sure that when you follow up that you are being personable, you are being personal, you are being relevant, and you have really good etiquette and follow up. Okay. Last thing, connect to recruiters. When you join LinkedIn Premium, recruiters will see you. You'll be on their radar. And that's a really, really good thing. You might not like every recruiter. Everyone's not going to be super nice to you. But you never know what the opportunity might present, and you never know what doors they might open for you. So finding a job and looking for a job can be exhausting. It really is a full-time job. Don't forget to really stay focused on your craft, okay? Stay fresh during this time. I'd recommend studying and spending quality time building your skills. I personally am a software developer, so I am building websites, I'm playing with my different codes, I'm completing daily challenges, but maybe you're in marketing or maybe you're an educator. Spend time just studying and making sure that you're ready. So when the opportunity presents itself, you don't have to get ready. You want to stay ready. You want to stay on top of those things. Reach out to your peers, people that you went to school with or people that you previously worked with, and see if you can continue to collaborate with them. It keeps you fresh. Read, research, YouTube, Google are my best friends. They're down with me. They help me get through challenges along the way. And I highly recommend you start there when you get stuck on something. I'd also set up virtual coffees with people in my field. When you're talking to people who are doing what you want to do, you get insight that you might not have thought of. They might share nuggets that hadn't crossed your mind, or they might offer to give you mock interviews or feedback on your resume. Things like that are important. So make sure that you're studying and that you're trying to advance yourself. Don't be idle because closed hands don't get fed, right? So make sure that you're doing what you need to do. Make sure you are everything that your resume says you are, and you feel confident in that. Okay. And if you continue to practice, you will build that confidence and you'll be ready when the time comes. So another thing that I do personally, and this might not work for everyone, is I keep templates on deck. Whenever you're applying for a bunch of different jobs, it's important that you have a specific resume and cover letter for that job. But no one has time to start from scratch every single time. So I have a standard software developer resume and a standard software developer general cover letter. And then I just change out different facts and different parts of it that meets the job description that I'm looking for. I also have standard emails and greetings when I'm linking with people on LinkedIn. I have an introduction saved. I have introductions for recruiters and for colleagues that I might connect with, for emails and for LinkedIn. And I have several thank yous. Now, here's some examples of things that I've used. So I have a thank you that is just for an interview. If I got an interview with a company, maybe I didn't make it to the next step, I thank them for their time. If I didn't get a job, I still make sure I send a response and say, thank you for the opportunity. Can you please give me any feedback so that I can do better the next time this comes around? And I just thank them for reviewing my application. If I applied for something I haven't heard back, or if I had an interview and I still haven't heard back, I might just hit them up and say, hey, thank you for this opportunity. I'm really excited about this business. I hope to hear from you soon, something like that. So here's 3 examples of things that I have. You don't have to follow these verbatim, but these are actual real emails that I've sent out to people. So you can Google it. You can Google it and find your voice in those messages. Make sure you say professional, make sure you say graceful, and make sure that you personalize whatever your communication is to that person. So that concludes my presentation. Hope that didn't take too long. This is published on my LinkedIn as well as my personal website, so feel free to review it, take notes. If you want to reach out to me, if you have any questions or comments about this presentation, if you're using some different strategy or if these strategies worked for you, please let me know. I just want to make sure that I'm benefiting the community and I'm benefiting those around me. So there are 3 QR codes on the screen. Feel free to use them to connect to me. There's my LinkedIn, the first one. The second one is my Twitter handle. And my last one is my personal website. So thank you so much for your time, and I hope to hear from you soon. Have a wonderful day.